What's an important rule you have in your relationship? I learned the hard way never to get into a fight while driving because the consequences are not pretty. Well, a week before the big on-the-road fight with my boyfriend, we were having a fun time hanging out with our friends while ironically watching Friends. After about 2 episodes, one of our friends asked what we should do for the next chill date session. I suggested going to the aquarium since I haven't been there in years, but everyone else voted on going to a nightclub to experience feeling young again. I was against the idea because I hated loud, crowded places, and I hated alcohol even more. My boyfriend, on the other hand, loved the idea. I was worried because he had a history of uncontrollable drinking before we had met. So the night before the next chill date, I called up our friends and asked them not to let him drink. They agreed but told me to prepare myself for the worst. I didn't really know at the time what they meant, but I quickly found out the day after that conversation. At the nightclub, all of our friends kept coming up with excuses to keep him away from any alcoholic beverage. He had no clue what was going on at first, but after about an hour of not getting even a sip of his drinks, he was getting really agitated. I tried to distract him and invited him onto the dance floor. He managed to sneakily grab another drink and bring it along with him. I glanced over at one of his friends signaling for help. His friend got up and approached us on the dance floor. He made a quick joke and grabbed my boyfriend's drink, saying that it was enough for the night. My boyfriend grabbed him by the collar and pushed him back aggressively before chugging down his drink and throwing the glass onto the ground. People around us jumped and screamed when they saw glass shards on the floor. My boyfriend gave everyone an arrogant look and asked, "What? You guys like that in Thor? And now you don't?" I grabbed his arm and continued apologizing to everyone while we walked by. I tried dragging him outside, but he refused. Eventually, a bouncer walked up from behind him and helped me push him out. My boyfriend looked angry and embarrassed. He shook my hand away and started yelling in my ear, "You ruined my night." I frowned, hurt by his words, especially when I was only trying to protect him. I stayed quiet while we walked towards his car, keeping a large amount of distance between us. Inside the car, we started off silent for a few seconds, but the moment we got onto the highway, the tension between us started building. My boyfriend shut off the radio and turned off the air conditioning in the car to make me feel uncomfortable. He laughed, speeding up a bit and asked, "Do you think I'm stupid?" I responded with no. Then he swerved dangerously onto another lane before continuing, "I knew it was you. You asked them not to let me drink. That's why everyone has been weird all night. You couldn't even let me have one night." I argued that he was irresponsible, and that's why I'm always having to control the things he did. He swerved in front of another car and tried to brake check it, clearly looking for a fight on the road. My heart started beating fast and I fastened my seatbelt, gripping onto the side of my door. I apologized for trying to keep him away from alcohol and begged him to slow down. After a minute longer, he slowed down and hit the steering wheel angrily. He glanced over to see me looking seriously scared of him and apologized. But when he glanced over at me again, that's when the car in front of us suddenly hit their brakes hard. My boyfriend's reaction had been slightly delayed, so no matter how quickly he slammed on his own brakes, he knew we would end up hitting the car in front of us. To prevent a worse accident, he turned the steering wheel to put the car into the ditch, but it unfortunately made the car roll and flip over twice. The first whiplash knocked me out, and I wasn't conscious for the rest of the impact. Sometime after that, an ambulance arrived and took us to the hospital, where I woke up feeling drowsy and heavily sedated. I was lucky enough to walk away with all my limbs attached, but my boyfriend was different. He had several broken ribs as well as a broken arm. In the very last moment before the car flipped, he had extended his arm out to press my body against my seat to keep me safe, despite just having gone through the worst argument we'd ever had. We survived, but the officers called us stupid after taking our statements and ticketed my boyfriend for reckless driving. The car was unrepairable, but it was a great reminder to us never to fight while driving.